Welcome to the Strategy Mob Podcast. Tune in for everything you need to know to stay in the know regarding the automotive industry. Here's your host, Jason Harris.
Yep, my mic was turned off. Boy, I caught that one quick.
Would that be the end of the world?
I can hear myself in my ears, and all of a sudden I realized as I started saying it, I was like, I can't hear myself. Something's wrong. All right, now I got a mic turned on. Hey, what's going on, Podcast Nation? This is Jason Harris, and thanks for joining me on another episode of Strategy Mob. Today I have two very special guests, both on the marketing side, one on the agency side, one on the dealer side, so this can be a fun conversation. I have both Donna and Jodie with me, and I'm going to give them both a minute here in just a second to introduce themselves so we kind of know what their backgrounds are. But again, thank you so much for taking the time to jam with us today, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
All right, to get us started, I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Donna. If you can give me that origin story that is Donna.
Do I have to tell you what my likes and dislikes are? Or no?
You can go wherever you want.
Cheesy. Okay. Well, again, thank you for having me. This is my first time doing this, so might be a little rough. I started in the business right after college, or actually the summer, I think going into my senior year, perhaps, selling Silajet, which is an aftermarket product, clear paint coat product. And I was selling it to dealers when I was down in Charleston, South Carolina, which is where I went to school. I was trying to sell it to local dealers there and in the South Carolina, Columbia region. So I did that for about 6 months, and then and I was also caddying. I was the only female golf caddy on Kiowa Island simultaneously, so that was cool. And then, I was having a rough go of it, and then my dad was like, "Okay, well, it's time for you to come home now that you've graduated and start helping with the business until you figure out what you want to do." So he was president of a larger group in the Greater Washington, D.C. metro region at the time. So he put me under his marketing guy at the time, and I started helping with the advertising, the digital advertising side, everything from websites, writing for the actual websites, writing the copy for the websites, writing copy for ads, doing keyword mining, posting to Craigslist, the whole gamut of data entry, if you will. So I did that for a while. Then I founded the social media department for the company a couple of years thereafter, because I recognized the importance of social media, and I recognized that that's where the digital advertising game was going to be shifting. So we took our digital Google advertising efforts and allocated, a portion to the social media side. So reputation management, social media, that was the next several years. Then I wanted to get in-house in-store experience, and I went over to one of our locations, our Audi location, and I was more or less the facilitator of online appointment setting, engagement, and then thereafter, after post-purchase, how were you? How are you? How was the purchase? Before the CSI, surveys are sent out and what have you. And then I moved on from them in September of 2017 from that former auto group, and started my own little thing, my own little digital advertising company. One woman operation. I do everything from the creative to the writing to the media buys, everything. And then I'm also now building a software for inventory. They'll provide inventory and business intelligence to dealers or any end user that's going to be subscribing. And it's been taking a lot longer than we anticipated, but I'm hoping for the end of summer launch. And hopeful for that number. I'm confident.
It's crazy when the automotive, I call it the bug, gets into your blood. It is super hard to actually get it out, right? It's just like once it's in. You've been bitten by it, and you just, even though you're not at the dealership, of course you had to go do a marketing agency that would support automotive. Like I said, it just gets in you. Jodie, your turn. How did you get started in the industry? What is that origin story?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Jason. And I will absolutely agree that I think automotive is a marketer's dream. Absolutely. It's very addictive. So basically, I've been in customer service my whole life. I actually started out as a front desk manager at the Weston Trillium House at Blue Mountain. So strong customer service is all about the guests. And then from there, I went to school for marketing, and I got hired out of school to work for radio and television sales with Chorus. So I actually worked with Lucy Lewis. I think he's been a guest on your.
Lucy's actually scheduled next week, I think. Yeah.
He's a great guy, and I learned a lot from him. So I did that for a few years, and then we both actually moved on at the same time to Universus Media Group, where we worked for CAD anyway. I was on a different side of it though. So I was actually working with the digital signage for automotive dealers for Toyota and Lexus. We had our contract with them. So I was working with all of the English speaking dealers across Canada, as well as the head office in Scarborough. So I worked with the head office people and all the dealerships, and that's so addictive. I mean, like getting to know like the ins and outs of all the different personalities and all the dealerships, like it was a lot of fun. But I will say that I love the outdoors and I love where I live, and traveling back and forth to Markham every single day was like 6 hours on the road a day.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of insane. So needless to say, I ended up finding a marketing position here at one of the larger dealerships, Mike Jackson GM. And I've been here for, I guess, well, I don't even know anymore. I guess just a little over a year. And it's fun working, I think, in a small town dealership. And it was the same as working at a small town hotel, because you wear many hats. Like you're not just marketing, you're taking on a lot more. So the GM and I work very close, and I'm very fortunate to work for a GM and an assistant GM that are under 40. We are like, they're letting me explore all the different possibilities that are out there. Let's just say that, because I come in here and I'm, not traditional automotive. So I'm bringing probably a lot of ideas to the table where sometimes they're like, whoa, hold your horses there, just consider it. And then, so it's a lot of fun. That's kind of me in a nutshell.
Cool. That's awesome. And guys, again, thank you so much for taking the time to hang with me today and do this. Hey guys, I want to kind of get our conversation started today is kind of what your guys' current norm is, because it is what it is. We're not going back to the way the things used to be. Our industry has pretty much been operating and doing business and marketing pretty much the same way for the better part of the last 60 years. And I think that's going to have to fundamentally shift. I mean, I don't believe anymore that we can continue to market with an offer first type mentality, especially at a time like this. But I think even afterwards, it's going to be that important. But to get us kind of started, I'd love to kind of hear what your guys' let's call it the current norm is right now. Donna, I'm going ahead and get started with you. Like, how are these conversations going with your clients right now?
Current norm, do you mean like what I do every day, or current norm like how are operations at the dealership going?
How are the operations going at the dealership?
It's pretty in this local region, in the greater Washington region, it's been pretty bad. Some dealers say they're down about 95%. That's changed over this past weekend, actually. Things are picking up back up a little bit, but service is down about, for the dealers that I talk to and that I manage, between 40 and 50% down, and sales is taking a bigger hit than that. But yeah, they're all doing the whole digital retailing thing that's really been forced upon them, and they actually haven't. The feedback has been pretty positive. Like, they seem to almost prefer it. One of my groups. So, but I mean, that's one GM's opinion out of three. So but yeah, I mean, I think. Do I think that the business is, going to be changed forever as we know it? I don't know. I don't know if this is the new normal or not, but I've been pushing this, the digital retailing side for the better part of, a decade. So I don't give the popular response. I'm a pro Carvana person. I'm pro dealer. Trust me. I still have ownership. I'm a part owner of a Hyundai store and fighting for ownership of 3 others. So I am pro dealership, but I have been very adamant about the fact that, we've been, the modern person doesn't necessarily want to spend their afternoon at the dealership. So I kind of hope that it is the new normal, where you can pick and choose how you want to purchase and own that process. But we don't know yet. There's not enough data yet, in my opinion.
No, I think that's very, very true, and well said, Donna. I mean, I think right now, dealerships do have to actually sit there and question themselves, like, how are they going to continue to process sales if they're doing sales right now? But even moving forward, how are they going to do it? And to your point, digital retailing, I love how the fact that we're acting like this is like a new thing.
Right.
Like, I want this new thing called digital retailing. I mean, I've been in the business for almost 18 years. And I mean, I remember drop shipping Corvettes across the nation 15 years ago. Right. Like, literally, like, we'd have to send somebody, they would go down to a local notary and, sign the documentation so we can confirm that that is the person that actually received it and stuff like that. But like, this was 15 years ago. This was like this. So the concept is not necessarily new. In fact, I don't even think it's just the customer has been pushing for this. This is the way they want to have a transaction. That's I would say a more seamless transaction, rather than having to go in and do a 4.5-hour transaction. So I think maybe it's not new, because, like, to your point, Donna, it's been around for a long time. Maybe this is more like the enhanced way,
right,
to sell or buy a car, right?
We're putting a name on it. We're applying a name on it. But we've been, the luxury stores, you drive 50 miles to deliver cars, to deliver a big body Range Rover, since 2013. I mean,
it's totally normal, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Jodie, I'm curious for yourself, from kind of a marketing position, being at the dealership, how has that changed your marketing message at the dealership? Obviously, have you gone lighter? Have you maintained the same, level of frequency of messaging? How's the message changed for you guys?
Well, I mean, I think it all started, it was maybe around the March 20th day that it was basically like, okay, so people were starting to walk in our doors, they're coughing, they're sitting in our offices, and I just started going, okay, at this point, like, we need to close every single door except for one door, our front door, funnel them all in, put signs up everywhere, just saying, like, if you have a cough into your sleeve. I find that funny now because I still see the signs up and it's like, yeah, right. If you have a cough, go away, please. Like, don't come here. Although we can't say that. I think it was basically the next day that I had to take all those signs down and we closed our doors temporarily. Maybe shouldn't be saying this, but we actually had a possible case, not our sales manager's wife. So it turned out to be negative, which is really, really good. But so basically we had to close our doors to do our due diligence because at this time, nobody was testing, the husband and everybody, and we had no idea. So it's like, okay, for at least 14 days, we've got to at least close. And at that point, it was just put a pop-up message up on our website saying, you know, we're closed temporarily. Your business means the world to us. Please know that you can get in touch with us. Now, I will say that myself, our assistant GM, and our GM have all been here the whole time. So, I mean, whether we were sick or not, we were all in it together. So it's been actually a lot of fun because I'm getting to know the service side a lot. I'm getting to know all aspects of the business, which for me is a bonus. And I actually think that with everything that's happened, there's a real silver lining, just like we were saying, that business is changing and it needs to change. We need to be able to do video walkarounds, which people are doing anyway, but I can tell you right now, a lot of the guys don't. We have guys that have been here for 30 years. They're not buying into it. Or one guy doesn't have a cell phone. We're like, listen, this is a kind of a survival of the fittest type thing. Like,
well, that's actually a really good point. I mean, you know, your dealership is not isolated that way, right? There are a ton of dealerships out there that have, you know, that salesperson that has been with business for a long time, have done amazing things for the business, but they just never really embraced any type of new technologies. They really struggled to embrace the CRM system. They really struggled to embrace any type of video system. It's like, I hate to say it, but, you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Jodie. Do you think, you know, the day of the old dogs are done?
I don't want to say that because, like, at the same time, we're in this, like, this bubble where a large portion of our audience, like, so we have 4 brands, and Cadillac and Buick, well, guess what? They attract an older audience. So, I mean, our biggest seller are Chevy trucks, GMC trucks. That's huge. We do the fleet program. We've got our fleet guys for that. So there's still a place for them, obviously, right now. They've got their customer base. But when it comes to new leads and everything right now, our younger guys, I'm feeding it to our younger guys right now. You've got to be able to jump on Zoom meetings. You got to be able to do walk around videos and feel comfortable on video. Like, you got to do that. And one of the other cool things, like, thank goodness, because we were just talking about digital retailing, is we just jumped on Moto Insight. I don't know if you know that, the digital retailing tour.
Yeah, very cool product.
We just signed on with them right before this. So we were scheduled to launch April 6th. And I'm like, and I mean, like, I have wanted this. Like, everybody, you know, everybody shops Amazon. Everybody shops digitally. I will say that the customer wants to be able to play around with pricing, but I don't know how comfortable they still are buying a car online. At least where we are right now, they're not taking it to the full advantage. That's what I'm seeing. Do they love playing around with their pricing without having to sit with some guy and talk to them and force them to come into the delership? Like, these BDC departments are like, all you want is an appointment.
You mean customers don't like to sit down and fill out a worksheet? Right. And then get some handwritten numbers that are barely legible, and somehow I have to have a salesperson justify what all these numbers mean. They don't like that? That's crazy.
Yeah, no. Like, really. Yeah. So
are you finding people that are adopting to the tech? Because Donna, I'd like to hear your thoughts actually on this one too. Is, you know, for me, digital retailing is more process than it is technology. And, you know, when I consult with dealerships, I push them to develop out the process and actually prove to themselves that they can execute the process before they can even talk and start getting into technology. There's just so much process that goes into that. Donna, what are your thoughts? Because I know you some of your dealers are doing this right now, as far as, like, how do you get that process in there before you get the tech in there?
Well, ironically, I've been pushing that process of finalizing the deal before they came in anyways, which was not, it wasn't particularly popular either at the time, but it alleviated a lot of unnecessary time and wasted time. And, it alleviated the pressure for the salesperson, and the sales manager and the finance department. Well, depending on how you want to look at it. But to know, to already have built a rapport and involved, a back and forth through digital correspondence, through, texting, emailing, talking on the phone. I mean, I facilitated 7 sales, 4 to 10 sales a month, probably when I was at the Audi store, by never picking up the phone and definitely never talking to anybody. So I'm a texter, I'm an emailer. That's, I like having things documented. I like, I guess, unfortunately, multitasking, which I'm trying to get away from. But either way, to already have things just lined up and already have things figured out before the customer even gets in there, gets to the actual physical location or the delivery is made, makes things, everybody benefits from that, especially from, time consumption wise, and for, how when it can get a little awkward with the back and forth on the payments, as opposed to having the customer come in fresh, and then there's 3 and 4 back and forth between the sales tower and the customer, and those days are just gone, and they should have been gone, quite frankly, probably the better part of a decade ago, in my opinion. But
I'm curious, Jodie, are you seeing that? I mean, I know I know Moto Insight's a new tool for you, but I'm just curious, as early as it's been, have you seen less negotiation happening because the tool answers a lot of these questions that much faster?
It's very new, very new. But I will say that we already had a website that kind of shows you, you can play with your payments already up front. So, I think that I agree with Donna, the change needs to happen. And so one of the things that I find kind of funny is that if somebody texts us, so we have Podium on our website, it's our chat, and you put in your text. And so this is so we're trying to say, text them back. If they contact us on Facebook Messenger, message them back, email them if they want email, do their preferred method of communication. And I keep seeing them. I saw it today again, one of my guys, and he's like, here's my phone number, call me. Well, first of all, you need to be calling them.
That's classic.
And second of all, and I'm not trying to pick on them, but it's I'm trying to just show them a new way of going about it. If they want to text them. If they want to message you, message them, right? And I know there's a lot of channels that it can be confusing. So I'm just trying to guide them along the way, I guess. But.
You know what I find really kind of interesting is you're talking about, connecting with them and communicating with the customer in the channel that they want to communicate with. Here's something that's always blown my mind. Every single website provider out there, every form on a website solution still only asks for 2 things: email and phone number. That's it. Am I the only one that thinks this is kind of crazy? I mean, we all know best practices is to communicate with the customer in the network that they want to communicate with. I mean, for example, we've been doing a lot of communicating before this podcast. I mean, you guys know that if you communicate with me through LinkedIn, I answer quite quickly. Phone calls, I don't answer too often. Text messages usually takes me a little longer because I'm usually doing one of these podcasts. So it's communicating with them, at the level that they want to communicate, which I think actually goes into kind of my next question I had, which is more around marketing. Because I think the message that we're putting out there now on how the customer communicate with us, but also how the customer can actually engage with us, both on the service and sales side, is going to change a lot. So, Donna, I'm going to start off with you first here. How do you see the new norm of marketing messages look like, and how is that different from maybe in the past?
That's actually something I haven't fully, the actual, the initial engagement or the overarching messaging.
Yeah, what is that overarching messaging? What's that first message we hit them with?
Well, I focus my clients on that it's not about you to the dealer, and sometimes we butt heads a little bit because it's my logo isn't big enough, and it's got to say Sunday, Sunday, Sunday in all red and yellow and yellow exclamation points or whatever. So from a creative and a design standpoint, I get into it with them, and that gone are the days of in your face loud used car salesperson. Open your computer or turn on the TV when anytime that there is actually an opportunity to watch a commercial and you see a Google commercial and you've got simplicity, cleanliness, and it's all about you, and you've got a message that makes the person or the viewer evoke emotion. So make it about them. Make them, you have to be empathetic, and you have to make everything is just about you, or just about the customer, not about you, not about the dealer. It just doesn't. It's not about you anymore.
That's a really good point. I mean, we can't market for ourselves, which in the past, to your point, Donna, is really what we've been doing, right? Huge discounts, low lease rates. It's like, but that's not, that's in our benefit. I mean, that's putting messaging out there that benefits us. I think the new normal, what the new expectation is going to be for customers in our marketing efforts is that, it's almost like we have to identify the WIFM, the what's in it for them before they even want to hear any offers, and I think there's going to be a lot of people that they're anxious. Like, if I have to buy a car from you, what does that look like? If I need to service your vehicle, I mean, I'm just looking outside my window right now. My Nissan Maxima still has snow tires on it, even though it is snowing right now. But it's May. This is crazy. But like, I'm going to have to go change those tires soon. And like, I don't even I haven't gotten communications from my local dealership of how the hell I actually do that. So Jodie, this is actually a good lead into, yeah, right. Jodie, this is a good lead way into the question for you is, at your dealership, what are you guys communicating right now as far as a marketing message goes?
Well, right now, I mean, with the COVID situation, we're just trying to let them know that they can communicate with us in any number of ways, however they want to. But I think we've kind of touched on that. One of the things that, and I agree with both of you on this, I cannot stand the in-your-face corporate messaging. And I mean, okay, so let GM do that. Let Cadillac, let Chev, let GMC, let them tell you what the deals are. If they want the deals, they're going to find the deals. The only thing that's going to make Mike Jackson GM different from anybody else are the people and how we are in the community. So we are heavy supporters of the local hospital. We sponsor the CSRA, which is snowmobile racing circuit in Canada. We're the major truck sponsor, so the winner gets a truck. We sponsor Moto Park, which is dirt biking, and this is all the trucks, right? So the GTHS, the Humane Society. So first of all, it's not about us; it's about how do we help you? Look at these animals. So I don't like sponsorships. I don't want our logo on everything. I don't care about that. I want a partnership. So we're the adoption partner. We help to push the animals that are being adopted.
You actually want to be a part of the community.
Of course. Yeah. I think that's really important. And I think highlighting, who our guests are. I mean, it's not a perfect message, but that's what we're trying to get across. So right now it's all about you. How do we help you? So yeah, even to when they come into our dealership, I try to give them a 5-star guest experience. I basically call them guests because that's what you are. There was just super quick. There was this one guy that called me the other day. He needed to get his car serviced. And he happened to mention that he's like, I don't know if I'll make it in tomorrow. My wife passed away a year ago today. And I said, oh, Bob, it's okay. I mean, if you can't. He's like, no, I should be able to make it in. That night I went out myself and I got on chocolates and a gift card to Timmy's and a card, and I got all of us to sign it. And it's those little things that are going to mean the difference, right? It's marketing through word of mouth. That is what I think makes the difference.
Well, it's marketing for the customers, not for us.
Yeah. And it's caring about them.
Well, yeah, but that comes from a place though of self-awareness, right? Like Jodie, you didn't go out there to do all that just so you could take a picture of it and post it on social, right? You did that because you were personally convicted to do so. So and I love hearing that. And I think there's actually some great stories out there of dealerships that are doing an amazing job of actually being a part of their community, not just in their community. To your point, Jodie, it's writing a check to your local hockey club, or paying X amount of dollars to park a couple cars at the Rib Fest, that's not really being a part of the community. That's just being in it in some small form, right? Guys, I know we're getting towards the end of our time here, but before we go, this is actually one of my favorite parts of the show. I get to both ask you guys what is pissing you off right now. So this is your opportunity to just literally say whatever comes to mind. All right. Throw your little rant in there. All right. Donna, I'm going to start with you first here. All right. Donna,
what started this segment around 3:23.
What's pissing you off, Donna?
What isn't? Well, what's pissing me off about what for the first thing that comes to mind, because I checked LinkedIn probably right before I got on here, is and this is a LinkedIn thing, so it's probably not too related to the overall conversation, but there doesn't seem to be much many original thoughts floating around. It's a lot of a little bit of an echo chamber, it feels like, but within the industry of, maybe there's going to be, actually digital retailing is definitely increasing, and it seems like digital retail, and it's like, really, you think? I mean, and then certain, I've seen a lot of other accounts or vendors and stuff reposting, just not coming up with their original content, which is okay. That's a normal, popular practice. We all do it, but it's like, offer some value. Put yourself in the shoes of a dealer who is laying off, multiple people right now, furloughing people, and, is hitting lows and having to answer to ownership that are used to seeing X amount in distribution checks every quarter. Put yourself in those people's shoes and try to resolve and solve for the solution, as opposed to just being an echo chamber of what you think is to come. I think that's probably pissing me off the most, is that and people being a little insensitive to what other people's ideas are, and then just blasting what their product is or what their software or their solution is you need to be able to pivot in this industry, especially now. You need to be able to speak educated, be educated and experienced enough to pivot and to say, what, maybe that is a good solution. Maybe we can apply our software that way, and not be so finite in their thinking and their applications of whatever it is their role or their vendor or their software products are. That's probably a standout for me right now.
No, I agree with you, though. I think we do need, as an industry, deploy a whole lot more EQ, and not just with our customers. I mean, for sure with our customers, but even just as an industry together. It's like, if you're going to go put a webinar on, if you're going to go live, like, have a plan. Like, try to bring some value, either, in real education or either entertainment. I'm cool with just straight up entertainment sometimes too. All right, Jodie, you are up. We want to know what is pissing you off.
I hate to say this, but Amvic is really bugging me right now, and I think it's bugging a lot of dealers. They just released something that said...
You'll have to explain real quick for Donna what Amvic is. She doesn't know.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. Amvic is our governing body in Ontario that gives us our rules of operation, and they're supposed to protect both the dealer from curbsiders and the customer from dealers, I guess. And right now they're actually pushing ads that are, I would say, scaring consumers about dealers, like we're these evil bodies. So they're trying to say we cannot at this moment do test drives even remotely. So we're trying to figure out. So basically you have to take them to the altar. They need to buy the car. And then we figure, how long does a test drive take? 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Sometimes maybe they take it overnight. They're not driving it 24 hours straight. So we, as a dealership, decided we'll give them 48-hour cooling off period. If they don't want the vehicle at that point, they can bring it back to us. Amvic is pushing out there 7 days or 700 kilometers. What test drive is 700 kilometers? And that's what they're pushing to consumers right now. So I think that's a bit of a sore spot, and that's kind of driving us nuts. We need kind of CADA or TADA or whoever it is to kind of lobby for us to be able to do remote test drives and do it in a smart fashion. But this is just like, it's killing us. How much longer is this going to go on for? A month and a half for us to not be able to sell cars? Like, I
That's
mean,
no longer even a new car anymore.
Exactly. I know.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that is very frustrating. And they're basically saying it's illegal when it's not. This is just their example, but they're pushing that out there.
Yeah, their language is totally wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's my rant.
Wow.
Actually, no, I'm with you there. Donna, we have several different governing bodies up here that actually oversee kind of the sales efforts and marketing efforts actually of dealerships, which is actually really different because I'm originally from the States. When I moved up here, I was like, I'm sorry, I have to pay for a license to sell cars? That's a funny joke, but no, it's a reality up here. Anyways, guys, I know we're at the end of our time today, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to jam with us. But before we go, for everybody out there that's listening and watching right now and would love to connect with you guys and learn a little bit more about what you do and kind of follow along, what is the best way to do so? Donna, I'm going ahead and start with you.
Best way to get in touch with me is definitely on LinkedIn. Just look me up, Donna Bavely, Bavely. Or you can go to my website, prograuto.com, prograuto.com. Just put in your email if you want to start a conversation because we have not launched the website content yet. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Donna. Jodie, for yourself, what is the best way to connect with you?
You can connect with me anyway. I mean, you can text me. That's huge on my email signature. So you can text me. You can connect with me on Facebook, Jodie Kennedy, LinkedIn, Jodie Kennedy. My cell number, I guess, is 705-985-1269. I can't believe I'm actually putting that out there right now, but I'm ready for you. So there you go.
Should I have done that? Was that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that just goes to show, hey, I'm willing to have a conversation. Give me a call. Let's have a chat. That's awesome. Hey, again,
not a call, a text.
A chat, text. That's right. Don't call, guys out there. Anybody out listening? Don't call Jodie. Text Jodie. That's the only way she's going to respond.
Yeah.
Thank you. Guys, thanks again so much. I really appreciate you jamming with me today. This was a lot of fun. You guys have yourself an awesome day.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jason.
See ya.
Thank you.